EPS Standard 15A. Identify and illustrate on a graph factors that cause changes in market supply and market demand. This is where you'll get asked several different questions on the EOCT as far as graphs go. We've always gotten a lot of those. I'll draw one. Remember, the P goes up this side, the Q goes down here. We'll start with supply. Supply goes up. And what they want to know is that this is S1, and this is S2, and this is S3. What causes S1 to shift to S2? In other words, the quantity supplied. What causes it to be a right shift? What causes the supply to shift to the left or go down, the quantity supplied to go down? Forces that increase supply. And that would mean that the supply would want to move to the right. This would be forces that cause a right shift. Decrease in production costs. If the government decides to lower taxes, if property, the value of property goes down, if the cost of oil goes down, any other types of if labor, for some reason, the average labor wage goes down, you would see an increase in supply because it would be cheaper to make that item. Increases in technology make things faster and more efficient, so they would, so you'd see an increase in supply. Government subsidies. Government sometimes wants to increase the supply, so they'll give subsidies or payments to businesses, and that enables them to make a lot more. Expectations of future lower prices, causes increase in supply. If you know that a product's price is going to fall, then they'll probably increase supply. Also, more firms entering the market. I mean, obviously, if you have 5 people selling tomatoes in town and you add another 5, now you have 10 people. There's going to be a lot more. You're doubling the amount of tomatoes sold in town, and so that increases supply. Things that cause a left shift in supply or a decrease in supply. An increase, it's just the opposite, the increase in production cost. Oil prices go up, taxes, government taxes go up, it's harder to make things, labor costs go up, that decreases supply. Excise taxes, could decrease the supply of items within our country by taxing heavily items to enter our country. Government regulations can help cause or decrease supply. Expectations of future higher prices. If you think the price is going to go up, of an item, then it may decrease. The supply may decrease, and then firms leaving the market. If there's 10 tomato, people that sell tomatoes around town, and 5 of them go out of business, then you're going to have, 5 only, half as many people selling tomatoes. Therefore, that would decrease supply. For demand, I'll draw a new line here. Still have the P, still have the Q. We have a down line now. We have a left shift and a right shift. What causes, you have D1, D2, and D3. Okay, what would cause D1 to shift to D2, which is a right shift? We will talk about. The things that cause these, a right shift is an increase in quantity demanded. Would be if something comes in style, like fads and things like that. That causes an increase in demand. Also, things that cause an increase in demand would be if health news. If things come out that things are certain, like tomatoes or prevent cancer. I mean, obviously the demand for tomatoes would go up. How about in times of natural disaster? Demand for plywood during hurricanes goes way up right before it. Christmas time, the demand for goods go way up, and there's a general right shift. And the left shift would be the exact opposite of that. Shifts in the demand curve to the left, causing people to not want as much, would be if they just didn't have enough money. If they had less money and And like if government raised taxes on people, they would have demand, less demand. If people found out that something caused cancer, they would have less demand. And these are things that cause people to not want items as much. So what we want to know what a right shift is and a left shift is of both supply and demand curves. And that was a long one, but it's definitely worth it because it'll help you answer questions on the EOCT.